Welcome everyone to this quick overview of AVEVA Work Task and how it can help you to empower your workers to become more connected to the processes they're responsible for. Today we'll be taking a look at how AVEVA Work Task can help you to digitize your standard work and your operations to get information to people much more quickly so they can make better and more informed decisions. Gartner said that organizations today need better decisions made faster and ideally at the front line. The challenge with this, though, is with paper-based systems, it's very difficult to track and measure the performance of continuous improvement initiatives. The other challenge to this as well is that generally it takes a team of people to attack an issue and to resolve it. So not just that frontline operator, but it may involve people across different functional domains, which requires different forms of communication and notification to get them involved in the process. So what we want to look at today is a way to digitize that process, a way to streamline it and make it much more efficient and much more effective. So even with automation, the worker is still the centerpiece of operations out on the plant floor, right? They're ultimately that digital nervous system that's out there so that we can surround them with all types of technology, but it's really about empowering them to perform more efficiently and more effectively. And when we're looking at continuous improvement, we're really focused on these four different pieces of that process, right? It's, detecting that an issue has occurred, and then it's understanding the scope of that issue, then deciding what steps to take and what personnel to involve in the process, and then finally acting on the issue and hopefully resolving it through diagnostics, troubleshooting, and other methods to complete that process. And as we show here, work tasks can be at the center of that process. As you'll see, the work task application gives us the ability to detect events, to facilitate information to different users so they understand what's going on in the system and help them to decide on the actions to take and then record the actual activities that occur around resolving the issues that were detected. And how do we do that? Through three core capabilities that Work Task provides. One is connectivity that allows us to connect into actionable data across different systems, to use as triggers for different workflows and tasks that we need to execute, to the mobile aspect, which allows us to bring actionable data to people on the devices that they used most frequently, being desktops, laptops, tablets, or phones even. And lastly, through a collaboration engine that enables us to share knowledge and facilitate work across different functional domains within that plant. So bringing together the people that need to attack an issue and solve a problem. AVEVA Work Task is essentially a platform that enables you to transform your paper-based or manual processes into digital work procedures. We do this through a low-code environment, so eliminating the need for deep technical coding, enabling you to graphically model your standard operating procedures, escalations and notifications, and enforcing actions on deviations, approvals, and routings. We also provide an integration layer that enables the system to seamlessly integrate with other AVEVA products or other systems that you have available, like maintenance, quality, or lab systems. And we help facilitate continuous improvement initiatives by driving consistent, repeatable business processes, allowing you to basically digitize business rules and standard operating procedures. The engine also helps to coordinate activities, again, between people and systems so that we have a holistic view of the plant and engage every person at every level that needs to be involved to ensure that things are being done properly. And lastly, we provide an audit record of all activity that occurs, right? Who did it, when they did it, and what actions they took. AVEVA Work Tasks can also augment automation and supervisory systems. It provides a common framework for visualization across both desktops and mobile devices. It's an HTML5 compliant environment, so that means you can use any HTML5 compliant device as your front end, as your user interface. It's platform neutral, so it supports those different form factors. Everything from a phone to a desktop PC to a tablet can be utilized for that. So the mobile app provides everything from digitized documents to mobile notifications to data collection to any types of compliance procedures and checklists that an operator is going to need or a maintenance technician would need when they're out there on the plant floor, whether that's diagnostic and troubleshooting stuff or simply doing operator rounds and manually capturing information as they go from area to area within a plant. So what Work Task brings to us is really it's a digital procedure builder that can help us close the gap between your expected outcomes versus your actual outcomes. And what do we mean by that? We can take a look at the various systems and capabilities within a plant and see that you're going to have quality systems that might be there. You got scheduling systems. You've got different process parameters that are being monitored that are critical to the execution of production. And each day, a part of that process is, measuring your expected outcomes versus the actual outcomes. And then based on those measurements, taking some type of action. The problem with manual systems and paper-based systems is that the delay between comparing those items and actually executing action against them could be significant. Workflow could be running in the background, or work task is running in the background, monitoring some key parameters. If the actual value of that parameter doesn't live up to the expected outcome of the parameter, a workflow could be triggered, right? So we can automate the process of watching key variables or watching key KPIs. And if those KPIs don't perform as expected, we can kick off a series of workflows that go out and involve the operator as well as other personnel to figure out why did we not meet those expectations. Why do we have a piece of equipment offline? Why are temperatures running higher than normal? Why does it appear that we're having quality issues on a particular machine for a particular product that we're making? So let's take this example a step further with the equipment stoppage. If we bring work tasks into this environment, it's taking that process we just saw on the previous page and digitizing it. So taking this out now, we would have work tasks in the background monitoring some critical process parameters. And if an issue is detected, as you see, we'll travel through this work order, it'll execute these various steps to the point that it notifies an operator, hey, we've got an issue here. The operator might, it pulls up on their device, it's got a list of troubleshooting steps to perform. They could go through and see if, maybe it says to start this or stop that, clear this out, tries a couple of different things to see if they can resolve the issue on their own. And if the issue itself is not resolved, it can automatically pop up another form, take the information this operator provided, and push it over to a maintenance person and give them additional capabilities to now take this a step further. So here's what the operator did. Here's some other steps we could take. If that still doesn't resolve the issue, the maintenance person could interact with the form in a way that now connects to the maintenance system, and from the maintenance system creates an official maintenance order. And from the maintenance order, a field technician is maybe dispatched, and they're actually going out and they're working on the machine. And again, on their device, they have a whole history of what's already occurred. They also have access to work instruction and any other documentation that might be important for them as they're on the floor and they're looking at that piece of equipment and trying to get it back online. Eventually, the maintenance personnel solves the issue. They get the piece of equipment back up and running. That will push a notification back out to the operator, at which point the operator now knows that the equipment is been tested out. It's functional once again, and you may start production back up, at which point the operator takes that action and we complete our workflow or our work task. So again, it's taking the same process we had, but in this case now, we're aware of each person that was involved, every step they took. We have the time it took between each of the steps, and then we have the overall time it took to complete and close out the order itself. So in modeling this, right, it's a low-code environment, which means we attempt to minimize the need for any type of scripting or code. There's more than 80 out-of-the-box configurable workflow activities. It's very Visio-like, where you drag and drop the different activities you want. You're double-clicking to configure them. The configuration is done essentially through a dialog box. You have additional capabilities and features if you needed to go deeper into setting up how a particular workflow should react, but a lot of this, again, is going to come out of the box with standard activities that are here. Same thing is true with the user interface. So taking the paper-based process and modeling it as a form, we provide a web-based forms designer, right? And the forms are the primary interface that the operator sees. These are typically linked to, or they initiate workflows based on response. That's how we can get the whole branching set up. In addition to that, in the forms themselves, we can capture electronic signatures. Any type of critical steps that have to be authenticated can be done through an electronic signature on that form. Other common uses for work tasks involve many typical and standard operating procedures you'll find within a plant environment. So everything from startups to teardowns to operator rounds that need to be performed, shift handovers, anything and everything that's being done today, whether it's paper-based or manual-based, can be digitized in the system and be executed much more efficiently and more effectively. So let's take a look at some examples of work tasks in action. In this first demo, we'll look at mobile capability and see an operator perform a turnaround on a set of equipment utilizing their phone. A maintenance technician has been asked to investigate an issue on the Line 1 packer. He starts this task by using his mobile device to scan a QR code, which will log him into that device and present him with a list of options. As he reviews the actions, he clicks on the downtime list to see the current downtimes that have occurred. By selecting a downtime, he can drill down into more details on the event. He may also access work instructions to understand how to troubleshoot the system. As he troubleshoots the issue, he can assign a reason code with more details around the cause. Here in personnel, or switching to breaks and malfunctions under mechanical, we can flag it as mixer noise, apply a comment, and then also take a picture of the issue to document it further. Multiple pictures and attachments may be applied to fully document the extent of the issue and the steps taken to repair it, so it is now part of the record. Now that the issue has been documented and submitted, the supervisor can be notified of the issue, and as they check the record within their own system, they'll be able to see both the comments as well as the pictures applied by that operator. Work tasks enable you to take full advantage of the features of the mobile device, like the camera and the scanner, as well as the mobile aspect of a technician being able to move throughout the process. In this next demo, we'll take a look at job steps and work instructions from the perspective of an operator at their desktop. This demo will illustrate how to deliver detailed instructions on an inspection procedure to a new operator who's unfamiliar with the process. Along the way, they'll be able to report nonconformance that they see during the inspection, and will illustrate electronic signature capture as they complete critical steps that require a sign-off. After an operator logs into their inspection station, they scan in a part code attached to the item they're inspecting. Work Task provides an overview of a 5-step process they need to complete. The first step requires them to review the inspection instructions for the component. Clicking Next, they're taken to Step 2, which presents a series of inspections that must be performed. Each test includes a link to a specific set of instructions that enables operators to quickly access information if they are unfamiliar with any part of the process. At the end of a particular step, Work Task could require the operator to electronically sign the form to indicate that each of the required items has been reviewed and completed. As they continue to the next step and work their way through the next series of tests, a part fails to pass a particular test, at which point an operator can click a button to pull up a new form and report the nonconformance to notify the quality department of the issue. As they create the nonconformance report, they can specify the type of defect, the severity, and the characteristic that failed. The information will be recorded and then escalated to the quality department. Pictures and other documentation can be attached as well to provide additional context. As they finish the remaining tests, they can sign off, apply any additional comments, and then click Confirm to complete the process. There are many more examples we could show, like how work tasks can be used for startups, for continued deviation management, for performance monitoring, and for shift handover, as well as others. But in the interest of time, we'll keep moving on, and let's now talk about a real world use case, right? Let's look at AVEVA Work Task in the real world. CertainTeed is a leading manufacturer of a complete range of drywall and joint compound materials used in the building industry. And it creates those or produces those out of their 6 plants located throughout the eastern United States and Canada. They embarked on a journey about 3 years ago to find ways to improve their output, their performance, and also a way to address response time that employees had to customer issues and to customer inquiries. This led them to implement Aviva's MES software and to leverage the work task component of that solution to create a system that provides insights into performance and guidance on where they should focus and how they can improve. The main challenge that they had within their plants was that they were primarily paper-based. Their CI processes, their standard operating procedures were printed documents or PDFs that they utilized to do root cause analysis on quality issues or follow-up procedures on line changeovers or quality metrics themselves that had to be collected. It really slowed down the process and the response to the customer, as well as the ability to make adjustments to the process and correct those issues before they become very widespread. One of the original goals of rolling the system out were your standard measurable items like reducing waste and reducing material usage and reliability improvements and process improvements in general. But what they were surprised to find after the system was in place for a while, that at all levels, employees were using the information in ways they did not imagine. It turned out to be more than just a software integration project. It became a people integration project. Work tasks actually helped them increase overall visibility and transparency at all levels throughout the company, right? From the VP down to the operator themselves. Everyone in the organization is just more aware of how they're performing as a company overall, and they're more connected to what's going on across the organization. So it's truly empowered their workforce to be more invested in what they're doing and the actions that they take. Well, I hope you've gained insights into how AVEVA Work Tasks can become the digital central nervous system for managing critical standard operating procedures, fostering collaboration across functional domains, and empowering frontline operators to do their jobs more efficiently and effectively across the organization in a seamless and streamlined fashion.